I'm a pro at opening luggage locks because I used to work for a luggage store out back in the mall in Allen.
No shit.
Yeah. So
which place do you work for?
Samsonite.
Oh, really?
And every time somebody would come in, they do the Swami, Samsonite, like the Dumb and Dumber reference, and
God, you
fucking
must
wanted
love
to
that.
murder them. That was the shittiest job ever. But yeah, I got
had
really
the same
good
job,
at
by the way. I used to work at the Houston Trunk Factory, and it's now Bag and Baggage, which I think is a national chain. I used to sell luggage. I did it for 2 summers.
No shit.
Yeah.
Shit then con. Yeah.
Luggage bros.
The thing about luggage bros. The thing about that is not a lot of people come in to buy luggage. So there's like hours at a time where nobody will come in, and I would just go in the back and I would sleep. I'd like take a shit. I'd be the only one on the job, but I would just do whatever
like a 2-hour
in the
shit.
back. It didn't matter because nobody would come in. I remember one time I came.
Hope there's a comma between
I
those
woke
two.
up with drool on my face, and I had been sleeping like this, and my leg was asleep. So I came out, and I heard that there was someone outside. They had been in there for like 15 minutes.
Nobody was there.
No one was there. And I was like coming out, like rubbing spit on my face. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I gave him like 15% off.
I went to
Terrible.
Did you really?
You're one
so you like
customer of the
steal
day.
from the company on top of that. Not only did I do a poor job that I'm being paid to do, but let's steal from the company
something
as well.
like that happened to me. I went to a Radio Shack last week for the first time.
Why?
I needed walkie-talkies.
They still exist?
Yeah,
Why?
Exactly.
Why do you need walkie-talkies?
It's a long story, but I'll tell you.
Are you a kid in a Spielberg movie? What the fuck?
So I go in there, and there are 2 people working there, and one person's like on their laptop watching something, and they look up and they're like, a person. And they're almost like, one lady was like, let me help you. And then the other guy was like, no, I got it. Like, they were fighting to like help me. And I was like, I just need walkie-talkies. They're like, well, here they are. I was like, yeah, just those ones. They're like, okay.
You know what they should do with
They were
Radio Shack?
miserable people.
They should just... What's the matter, Blaine?
It's fucking tight on my neck.
Blaine is,
Too much neck muscle, man.
Blaine is unbuttoning his top button
Just
here.
flex and
Beer
it'll
too.
just rip.
It's part of the process, audience.
I'm gonna get day drunk.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
get day drunk.
You didn't hear that? Founder of the company I work for.
I'm gonna get work drunk. Yeah, you already blew it when you said you were sleeping and then giving out discounts because you were sleeping.
That was
taking
retail.
2-hour
It's
shits.
a different. Hey, those were the best kinds of shits.
At my job, I did something really stupid where there was a company-wide missive that went out because somebody had used the store phones because people were bored. They used the store phones to dial 1-900 chat lines, and that was a big deal. And if they found out who was doing that, and this has got to stop, and don't do it, and it went out to all the stores in our city, and I thought it would be funny. I was like 16.
Oh, God.
I thought it'd be funny. We have that list of emergency numbers that's right by the phone.
Yeah.
Like, here's the fire department, here's the mall security, blah blah blah. All that stuff. I had like Sean D, like 1-900 hot shit to it. Holy shit, that was a witch hunt trying to figure out who had done that. There's like 8 people that worked at the store, and our manager was like, "Who wrote this on there?" I
Took you into a room one at a time.
Yeah. It's one of those moments, too, where it's like, at first I thought the manager thought it was funny. I was like, oh, it was me.
You almost confessed.
Yeah, I almost took credit for my own firing.
That was the fastest
What did
U-turn
happen
ever.
to that? Did they find out or anything?
Yeah, they blamed it on somebody else at the store. And they were like, it was a guy who had a lot of problems. And like, I was working with another guy, and he was like the assistant manager. He goes, yeah, we know it was, I don't even remember his name anymore. It was Bill. And yeah, this is the last straw with Bill. And I was like, okay, I did it. You know what I mean? Because I
Oh,
couldn't.
you actually confessed.
Should've gone with
Yeah.
it.
Did you get fired?
Does that make me a saint that like I had to go all the way to the point of like somebody else being fired before I finally admitted it?
I guess it's better than not saying anything.
That
at
makes
all.
you not totally a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some redemption. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Bill totally deserved to be fired, but I just couldn't be the reason why he got fired for the wrong reason.
Great protagonist.
Yeah, me? Yeah, that's awesome.
What are some other shitty retail jobs that you've worked?
My first job was delivering subs for Blimpie, and I just learned that Jason Sudeikis had the same job, and he was talking. I saw some interview with him, and he was talking about like when you went to a office and you had $100 in subs, that was going to be at least a $10 tip. And I was totally the same way. I can remember that mentality of like, fuck,
Oh yeah.
I got paid. We were just talking about minimum wage. I think when I started working, minimum wage was $3.35.
Wow.
That's what we were paid.
It was $5.25 when I started working at a grocery store. I was the dairy boy, but I got $6 because I was in a refrigerator all summer. So
Oh yeah.
75 cents extra.
75 cents
That
for
was
the
a
frostbite.
shit fucking
Yeah.
job.
Can that fuck you up? Like breathing in cold air all the time like that?
I mean, I turned out normal, so you tell me.
As far as
It
you
was
know.
an entire like 5 months that I was in this fucking freezer, and I started going crazy. I would be the only one in there, so like they had the milk shelves lined up in a way that anybody that's up here couldn't see if like something was down on the ground. So I would see kids with their moms, and I would look through the glass, and I would like wave at the little kids.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then they'd be like, "Mom!" And then I'd like scurry off to the back of the fridge, just like fucking.
Became like some sort of weird legend of that store, like the freezer guy, like up there with like Bigfoot and Loch Ness monster.
Hunchback of the Frozen Isle.
I had shitty jobs, and then I worked at a toy store. So
That seems like a good gig. I worked at a video game store. I went from
That's
working
nice.
at Babbage's, which is now
Babbage's.
was
Wow.
bought by GameStop.
Yeah.
Or bought by, I guess, EB Games, which then became GameStop. But I went from working at Babbage's to Bag and Baggage, which was like
I got a baggage.
Babbage's bag.
I worked at all the
baggage.
shittent stores. I had like an overlap there where I worked at 2 places. at
Your
once.
resume was a poem. It rhymed. And
There's alliteration in my resume.
I went for a hike there on Sunday, and I went alone. And apparently, that's not a normal thing to do, and everybody's giving me shit for it.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I just went for a hike. Like, just went out.
People on the Greenbelt were giving you shit?
No, like friends. Like,
at
they're
this
like, "Oh,
loser."
what'd you do this week?" And I was like, "Oh, I went for a hike on the Greenbelt." And they're like, "Oh, who'd you go with?" I was like, "Well, just went with myself." And they're like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Are you
fine."
okay?
Yeah, I was like,
Did the Incredible Hulk Walking Away song play the entire time you were out there?
Here's what I
Jeez.
absolutely guarantee is that all the people that gave you shit for going also wouldn't have gone with you. If you'd have called me and said,
Yeah.
let's go hike on the Greenbelt, I'd go, dude, I'd love to do that. Man, but I'm like, I feel like on my couch.
Yeah.
I'm like super busy
I'll go
doing
hiking
something.
with you.
That's a good
110
point.
outside.
Let's go, Jordan.
Let's go fucking
Let's go
hiking.
this weekend.
Let's do it.
It's freaking nice. Although I went out there and I reached a point where it was all greenery and there's a little bit of water and I was like, oh wow, this is really nice. This is tranquil. And then I saw a fucking snake and I was like, all right, time to go home.
Nature sucks.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I was like, fuck this.
I'm outside.
It's like 2 foot long. I hated it.
Yeah,
One of the
fucking
locations
hate
we were
snakes.
looking at for Laser Team this week, that's one of the questions I asked is like, because we're in the middle of a field and I was like, you got many snakes out here? He's like, why do you ask? It's like, because I don't want to fucking step on a snake. I don't want to have a crew out here with snakes. It's something you got to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you see? What kind of snake?
I don't know. It was like 1.5 to 2 foot long, and I can't remember if it was like brown. I think it was brown, maybe green.
They
I
have a
think it was
rattle.
brown. Pretty sure it was brown.
Oh, this is riveting.
It's either an alligator or Godzilla.
I just remember like breathing in, and then I just heard this like rustling in the bushes, and I looked over, and I was like, "That's a fucking snake." I ran.
I want to note that when Blaine talks about himself breathing in, he puts his hands on his hip like it's a heroic pose. I'm just like, I imagine Blaine in the middle of a field with his hands on his hip staring, this is breathing, and then a fucking snake rolls up. Sounds like a biblical story. And that's how Mexico was founded.
We
Yeah.
had a serious like tornado warning just recently a little bit when we were having those storms, like the most serious that's happened since I've been here. And I was like trying to think of who to text. And I was trying to think of people who've been here forever. So I was texting Jack, and he was like, I was like, telling him, what should I be looking forward to? And he's like, if you hear the sound of a train, then you're in trouble. And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, are trains gonna be flying around or something? Like, is that what happens? He's like, no, that's the sound it makes when it's like getting really serious. But I was so freaked out. I didn't know what that meant.
Well, it's supposed to be
All
door.
aboard!
I didn't know
supposed
what
to
that
be-
meant. Like when you hear the sound of a train, get to the hiding.
It's
Like what?
bathtub, right? Bathtub's the secure
The
place.
train is the
Yeah,
alarm.
they always say bathtub. It's also a smaller room, but it also seems like one of the rooms that has the most amount of glass in it with mirrors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems dumb.
I remember the day, like I had a moment like that when I was a kid. I remember when you had science class and talking about like the space and the solar system and everything. And the day a teacher told me that someday the sun is going to die, is going to explode,
Yeah.
and the universe is going to be gone. And even though they said it was like forever away,
Thousands
like
of years.
I was scared to death. I'm like, I'm going to see the death of the sun. We're all going to die. That's it. And it just scared me and gave me nightmares for forever.
How the fuck did I remember that was an ABC television network thing?
There's a book called The Last Babylon. It's one of my favorite books, but it's about Russia attacking us with nukes and stuff. It's pretty unique concept. It's kind of like zombies. I kind of get excited about it in a little.
Well, you know,
in a way.
the thing that always worries me is like there are some like apocalyptic scenarios which are just like that's never gonna happen.
Right.
Like that, you know?
kinda
It's
What's
there's not gonna be
that one to you?
zombies.
Like zombies?
There's not gonna be zombies or anything like that, or there's not gonna be like Mad Max.
But what
or
about like
shit.
if
Fucking,
Water
I would
World.
totally be Mad Max.
or Waterworld? That's
yeah,
that's not
those
gonna
things
happen.
I would say, but what about like the zombie idea of like the whole like rabies or viral like making people go crazy kind of infection thing?
No,
it on.
I think it's more likely we'd have just like a Spanish flu, like the flu of 1917.
Something just
a
killed people.
pandemic, that wipes out where 2 people that die. Like everybody knows at least 2 people who died just by sheer statistics of it. But like the weird one is like the more sci-fi you get is like the sun thing or like aliens landing on the planet tomorrow and suddenly we're at war with an alien race. That's literally something that it is wild science fiction, but it actually could happen. It is on the scale of probability.
It's
very
in
low.
the possible column.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
You'd actually like that?
I like apocalyptic scenarios. Like those are some of my favorite
you just
movies.
want to be. You just want to be in one.
Yeah, I even have like an apocalypse kit at my house. It's a backpack, and I got like a hatchet and like a duster, you know? So I'm gonna be like the cowboy that like strolls into town.
You made a motion when you said duster that made me think of like a skirt that you were wearing.
I got the duster.
You really, so part of your apocalypse kit is your wardrobe? Like,
Absolutely.
Hey man, you gotta look cool.
That's like the, yeah.
Why are
only
you
got
surprised?
like one outfit to wear.
And then you know what's gonna happen is Blaine's gonna put on the duster, get the apocalypse kit, walk out his door, and get killed by somebody who actually is gonna
He's
survive.
gonna do that pose with his hands on his hips.
He's gonna
and breathe in.
Let's do this.
Here's what all your preparation is going to lead to. It's going to lead to this conversation that somebody else has going, hey, where'd you get that duster? It's like, oh, I killed a guy.
What
Is this from the day after?
Oh, yeah. Patrick has some stuff from the day after up, I think,
He did.
on the video.
I started reading fan fiction, like
Oh.
with me in it as
Uh-oh.
like the main other person.
What a surprise. You're only reading ones with you in it.
It's fucking cool. It's weird. It's like, how do they know me so well? It's pretty
I
interesting.
stay away from that stuff.
There's one where it's like a new employee coming into Rooster Teeth, and then like I'm like all charming and stuff, and it's like, wow, I love me.
They don't know
So
you.
are you the new employee or is the new employee somebody else?
Somebody else.
And you're hitting on
And
them.
I'm the one that's like, hey, I'll take you to dinner or something. Like, yeah, Blaine,
That's
get
your,
it.
that,
Want me to pick you up?
Jesus.
I just want to see. I want to see somebody write a fan fiction and then Blaine read it and then incorporate it into his life. He's like, that Blaine is pretty fucking cool,
I'm gonna start acting like him.
Blaine.
I won't be like that, Blaine.
There's no Jim Blaine fan fictions though, which is unfortunate. So.
There's no what?
Jim?
Blaine. I expected that one the most for some reason.
I got blown off by Blaine on text the other day. He's like, look, I'll read to you. He's like, I can't talk for you right now, bro. I'm at the gym.
You sent me a nerdy text. You're like, oh, by my calculations, the RT recap
Wow.
has had 100 episodes. And it was like,
Wow.
Wouldn't you want to know if one of your shows that you work on is about to hit episode 100?
but I've only done
Yeah.
like 20 of episodes, so I was like, nerd. And I was like, I gotta go. I'm
He
at
was
the
in
gym.
bro mode. Jesus.
All right, speaking of the gym, can I tell a quick story?
He goes, I'll incorporate that in the episode somehow. Gotta go, bro. I'm at the gym, bro.
Say bro more.
So I used to work, sorry, I lived at a co-op. Do you know what a co-op is?
What am I, a 12-year-old? Yeah, I know what a co-op is.
Some people don't know what a co-op is. It's basically it's like a living community. Everybody has labor, and it's like you like cook
they start
dinners
Labor Day?
together.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, do you get Labor
It's
Day
a bunch
off?
of hippies. So basically,
It's usually disgusting.
we had a gym, and I called it Blaine's Gym because I took care of it. I painted my name in there, and then I like bought all the equipment and stuff. So one day, my friend was working out.
You don't
and-
strike me, by the way, not to interrupt, but you don't strike me as a co-op guy. I was really surprised to find out that you lived in a co-op.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. though.
Usually it's
How
dudes with
desperate.
Who in the
dreadlocks.
company who strikes you as a co-op guy?
John Reisinger.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe Josh.
I'm trying to think who else. I think it's Yvonne.
JJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so so we had a gym in there, and I used to take care of it. And I had a text one morning, and my friend was like, "Hey, there's an old used condom in here. I don't know what it's from. There's a music room above, and it's like somebody must have been doing something up in the music room.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like,
What could they have used
He's
this
like, I
for?
just wanted to give you a heads up because he was in your gym. I was like, okay, well, I'll go check it out. So we had
I'll go
security cameras in
investigate.
there, and I went into the history, and I found 30 minutes of security footage of two people banging in Blaine's gym.
Nice.
And they did the most obscene things. Like
Nice.
he was like doing curls while things were happening,
Oh,
and like
nice.
it was the worst. So
It's the worst because it wasn't you. That's, I mean, how you were like,
just
I'm
jealous.
using this gym all wrong.
but my friend though would like worked out and touched all the equipment in that gym.
oh, get over it.
And then it's just like those people were all over it, you know. So I called that guy. He used to live at the co-op. I used to call him Jim Fucker every time I saw him. I was like, hey, Jim Fucker, how you doing? So
We missed a story you were about to say a little while ago when I talked about peeing in public.
Right, yeah.
You talked about getting locked. I don't want to miss that. So can we go back to that real quick?
I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
I want to
Where
hear
did
it.
you
Oh,
pee
good. I
and
really want to
can
hear
we
it now.
avoid it?
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I'm looking over there. So one of the other things that happens a lot is that I will.
Ashley has perked up so much right now.
I listen. We drive to work a lot together, and then sometimes the cars it's like we'll drive separately to work, Ashley and I.
Okay.
And then the car will stay here for a couple days because we'll drive back and forth together for a while, and then we get off, and it's like, well, I need to go home early. And she's like, okay, we'll go ahead and go. I am 100% since we moved from stage 5 or moved into stage 5. I'm 100% of leaving the office before Ashley and not having my keys with me because my Tesla does not have a set of keys. It just
Your
has
house
like
keys.
Yeah, it just has a little fob on it. So I don't carry my key ring all the time. So that happens all the time. I always forget my keys. Ashley, it happened to her one time out of 6 months we've been here. She got locked out. She took the car home, and I was taking the truck home, and she got locked out. And I was like, oh shit. I said, I'll drive home right away, and I'll find you. I'll get you. I'll let you in. She goes, well, hurry, because I have to pee. And then I was like, I'm packing up right now. And she says,
plot thickens.
She says, you know what?
Ashley is like this
She
right
goes,
now.
She goes, you know what? Forget it. She goes, no big deal. And I was like, no, you got to pee. She goes, I don't have to pee anymore. And I was like, what? And Ashley doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give a fuck. So I was really surprised. She tells me the story that Ashley peed in our backyard, which seems like I would do that in a heartbeat.
Do you pee in your backyard?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I tell the kids to do it too, like boys. Say, go ahead, just pee right
Did you go in
there.
the pool, Ashley?
No, did you pee on a
Come up
plant?
to the microphone.
Microphone.
See, I'm hoping she'll do the
Hot mic.
She'll do the motion.
Did you?
How did that work out for you?
Sorry.
Sweetheart.
He says sorry now.
So first of all, I did not go in the pool because I'm not a savage. I went against a tree like a civilized
Yeah, me
human
neither.
being.
She went against a tree. She didn't go in the pool. She went against a tree.
Well,
That's
here's the
talented.
thing: like, girls don't have the same equipment that guys do. You can't just whip it out and just like write your name.
Let's hope not.
And I was wearing jeans, so I needed something to like lean against. So I had to like grab the tree and just lean.
Wait, you grabbed it forward? You didn't like kind of like
So
go
you're-
I
backward?
did.
and lean
I
forward?
actually had to hug a tree and pee on it.
So you're, like, leaning forward at an
I think I
angle.
sent some really mixed signals.
So she grabs the tree. This is the way she described it to me. She grabs the tree, puts her feet like at the base of the tree, and then leans back.
Right.
So
but
she's
see-
like, we have neighbors.
Remember Home Improvement?
The
The
real
neighbor that
trick
would
was
look over
I
the
had to
fence?
I had to scout the entire backyard first to figure out like what's a blind spot to all neighbors, because we have our neighbors have. Like, they can see across the yard, especially, like, one's on the other side, which means, like, no topless sunbathing. It's really sad.
I'm so mad at them. They took a tree down, and she won't topless sunbathe anymore.
Sons of bitches.
I know, right, Blaine? It's the worst.
dare they?
But
the
no,
worst.
I
But you
did
still topless
find, I
sunbathe,
now
right?
know the one spot in the yard, and it's next to the
The
tree.
sweet spot.
You found it.
Yeah.
But there's no sun there.
That's my new pee spot.
Next time I come over,
I'm gonna be like Joe. I'm gonna be like Joe the cat and just refuse to pee indoors.
That part of the yard is gonna die.
next time I'm there for like Game of
Jesus.
Thrones or whatever, just point that spot out so I know
Yeah.
not
What
to
are you
go.
so
Yeah,
worried
we'll
about? What are
avoid
you
it.
so worried about? Let me tell you,
Ashley pee.
I've peed all over the backyard, so don't worry about it.
Okay,
Bring a black
Blaine,
glass.
Blaine, if you're not careful, I'll pee in your gym.
No, you stay away from Blaine's gym.
So I have to admit that I have completely lost Joe the cat to Ashley.
Oh.
They are best buds.
I'm glad you said to Ashley at the end of there.
Yeah.
No,
I got
no,
worried
you
for a
lost
second.
He's a dick.
I follow you on Instagram, and that's like Joe the cat pictures, and they're good too. He's like such a chill cat. It's
Yeah,
like-
I'm a wonderful Joe the cat photographer. You should see my camera roll, all the ones I don't post, because I'm like, maybe too much Joe the cat.
It is true. It's like
I need
50% of her photos are
need
Joe the
more
cat.
food pictures. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry that I had to tell that
No,
story.
you're
They
not.
required me to do it.
Not even a little
It was
bit.
part of it. Part of the deal. Social contract.
Yeah,
Blame it
we
on me.
made him.
That's all right.
John brought just go back watch tape. It was long gone. The story was long gone. John brought it back up.
Well, I was
and
gonna bring it up
if
too,
John never
but-
hosts news ever again, it's complete coincidence.
Complete. Yeah. Thanks, Ash.
It was nice being on the know.
Have you ever peed on?
Wait till Jordan animates it. Then we're really in
This is
trouble.
gold.
Have you ever peed in the car while you're driving? It's like you've been alone.
Like Dumb and Dumber
you need
style?
to go to the bathroom, but alone. You've never tried that?
No.
What do
No?
you do? You pee while you're driving?
So I had a
Yeah, what?
Whataburger cup, and I was
Just
on my way back
pull
to
over.
Dallas.
Oh, God.
It's a 3.5 hour drive, but then I hit traffic in Dallas.
I don't think I've peed in a cup since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Well,
On a
I
road
peed in this
trip.
cup, and it was a bad time. Let me tell you that.
As opposed to a good time peeing in the cup?
I mean, if it's successful.
Hey,
you
this is a
pull
good
it off.
time.
There's when you're a kid and you're on a road trip and they tell you to pee in the cup and you pee in the cup and then you stop and dump it out or whatever. Just stop and pee on the side of the road. That's the same fucking
Yeah.
thing.
It's
traffic.
Otherwise, you're not gonna ride around in your car with a cup of pee.
Well, I did because it was traffic in Dallas, and there's nowhere to pull over.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, dump it out the window.
No, because then I'm gonna hit the biker next to me or whatever. You know.
Let's stop talking about pee. I gotta pee.
I got you so bad, dude.
Don't touch his knee when you say that. I don't even know how much.
Bernie,
Are you keeping track
I'm
of
gonna-
time? How much
No,
time
I
do
didn't
we
know
have
that was my
left?
job.
I'm gonna go pee in Bernie's house.
We got 5-10 minutes left.
5 minutes?
Perfect.
We
If you
can
gotta
make that
go,
short.
you can go.
No,
Hey, do you
I'm
want
good.
which one
Gus
do you
isn't
want?
here, man. We don't care.
Do you want sound check or do you want the?
I
He
usually
goes to the
use-
bungalow.
I gotta start the bathroom situation. I cannot wait for this to be corrected because there's a I guess like a pact where if you're using the bathroom, that's yours. Nobody's gonna come in and use the
No,
one
I
next to
disagree.
you.
I disagree.
John and I
That's
ended up in
always
there
been-
together.
Yeah.
But that's how it's been at the
happened
old
more
office.
than once?
We had toilet and we had a urinal in one of those bathrooms. People don't come in and use the urinal
fuck
if you're on the
that.
shitter.
Let's stop for a second. Let's explain the layout of what we're talking about. Okay. At the old office, there was 2 bathrooms, and there was one that was called the main bathroom, which had a toilet in a room, and then there was kind of like a side room off of that also had a urinal in it.
Right.
There was no stall for that
it's just
toilet.
A partial wall, no
Partial
door,
wall.
no nothing.
Partial wall, and the toilet did not. It was just like a normal bathroom that had also like a little nook.
I just want to pee by myself though.
The current place
I'm
we have a
self-conscious
bathroom
about my stream.
that has a bathroom. It's a small bathroom, but it has a toilet with a stall and a urinal and a sink, but a toilet with a stall. That's the main difference. So go ahead. Now that you know what we're talking about.
So heretofore, the protocol has been somebody comes out if you're
So proper.
if you're in the honey wagon and you're peeing. What I do is there's no lock on the door anymore because you can't go.
That-
you
Beg
can't-
to differ.
you-
Somebody locked it this
You
morning.
can't take twosies in there anymore.
Come on.
Or they frown upon it anyway. I always knock just in case, and then nobody answers. I go in, and so I was peeing one time, and my greatest fear is somebody walking in, and sure enough, of all people, JJ comes in.
Jesus.
Doesn't even knock, opens the door. I was like occupied in the middle of my peeing. He's like, this is awkward. Walks right in, goes into the stall next to me. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
and that's perfectly
oh,
fine.
what are you doing?
I'm fine with that.
There's
No,
a door
I didn't like
between
that.
you.
Did you play sports in high school or middle school?
Blaine, I'm totally with
Scoff.
Fuck it, you know?
I'm totally with you. One of the biggest stories that I continue to get the most amount of shit for is the time we were all in a hotel room. Joel's taking a shower. I go in the bathroom and take a piss while he's in the shower. That was like egregious to everybody that I would do that.
That's not how I animated
You-
it.
I was-
You were taking a dump.
And like trying to see Joel's junk.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in the honey
Not
wagon
at all.
the other
That's
day, and
proof.
you actually came in and asked permission if you're like, are you okay if I come in too?
Fuck
I was like, yeah, it's fine.
I was making sure. Because people are all
nice.
excited about it. See, I'm all gun
Yeah.
shy because of the stupid
I talked to
RTA
them.
that you made.
I don't even care.
Exactly. Don't do it. Don't do it, JJ.
You come over to the bungalow.
No, listen, I'm
That's where I go to take my other business.
I've been going to sound
Really?
check and I'll see. I recognize people's shoes. I've seen Gus's. I saw Kyle's this morning. I recognize
That's
these
really
people.
funny.
I'll start talking to them. I'll be like, "Hey, Gus, how you doing?"
Oh, man.
now
Doing
John
good, how
did
are
that
you?
to me. John continued to talk to me as I was peeing, and I was like, "This we're not going to do."
Yeah.
What did I say?
This
I
is
don't
across
remember.
my. I don't know. We were just chatting about
don't
something.
like people who do that. Like if you're going, like if you're like, I gotta pee too. So you go together to the bathroom. If it's a public bathroom, you're fine.
did.
Acknowledge the awkward
but when you
moment.
start
I
talking to
did.
each other, it's like, I'm busy. I gotta focus on this.
It's
How
whatever.
much
I don't like
concentration
it.
do you need to pee?
Acknowledge the awkward moment.
I'm definitely though in the school of thought that Blaine is, where it's like I grew up that kind of shit just didn't matter.
Yeah, bro.
People just pee over everyone, just all over each
The
other.
party where I got
Pee on a
everybody
tree,
super drunk at
whatever you
Gus's, I peed in the backyard.
Yeah.
In like plain sight of a lot of people,
Jeez.
and that was like mortifying.
No, it's the ultimate act of manhood. You just
big
pee on
people.
nature.
This is
I
mine
totally
now.
agree. I totally agree with you.
Do you own Gus's
The
backyard
ultimate
now?
act of manhood is peeing on stuff.
I mean, it's one of many acts of manhood.
No, you said the ultimate,
I
okay?
think
You
you
set it up
guys-
on a pedestal.
In this conversation,
You guys are fucking Neanderthals.
I went to a church camp where this. Okay, this,
Heretofore, you are Neanderthal.
this gets weird, but I went to a church camp where one of our camp counselors was in the bathroom while a kid was taking a crap, and then he peed on his foot.
did he really?
He was like, just peed on his foot.
You'll like this. Then there's a whole series
talk
of a
about it?
guy who does with vines where he takes a sports bottle. And he goes in and he sprays in the toilet and then just sprays somebody's foot with it. Dude, the reactions. the disembodied voice of going, what the fuck?
There's one where a guy asks for
pee.
toilet paper. He's like, "Hey, can you pass me a roll underneath the thing?" You're like, "Yeah." Dips his hand in Nutella, and then he grabs it, and they're like, "What the fuck is this? What did you do?"
Oh my god.
It's so fucking
So
gross.
why am I not surprised that Blaine loves bathroom humor? That doesn't surprise me in the least.
That's pretty funny.
In the least.
He's losing it right
if
now.
JJ had pranked me like that while he was using the other stall, I would have been like, yeah, that's cool.
Oh man.
Dear Lord. All right. Well, I think we're getting close here. Are we, guys? Anybody? Last topics? John, first podcast. How did you feel about it?
I feel
I like your
great.
first podcast. We put you in Gus's chair and made
Yeah.
you do all the ad reads.
Yeah, thanks for
I'm
taking
good with that.
Yeah.
Taking the bullet.
I gotta
Ashley's
pee.
gonna break up with me after this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and she's gonna fire me from the no.
Yeah, we're all in the outs.
I'm so glad I got on the podcast.
Which bathroom are you going for so we don't?
I'll go to the honey wagon.
I'll go sound
You
check.
go sound check.
I'll go sound
Do you guys
If you
want to
come in the
coordinate?
fucking honey wagon, I'm gonna.